sit down. And this area has normally if it is 24 to 36 is the average that is outside. Well is what needs to be maintained inside, and the pressure difference should be around 6. So everything is monitored by a set of sensors, and this takes 5 seconds from the sensor to go out to the cloud and come back. So a live data 24/7 is always available. So if there is any buildup of aerosol inside due to some reason, the healthcare workers who are entering in can have a look at it, find out how better it is, or wait for just 2 minutes for so that the entire air is cleaned. This gives 40 air changes. That means 1.5 minutes the entire room air is cleaned. So within 1.5 minutes you'll be able to see that it comes down. Then the healthcare workers can get in. That's the main purpose of it. It's a dual purpose where the patient is also benefited, the healthcare workers are also safe. So this data can be pulled out patient-wise. The dashboard can be given from day to day or time to time, anything, and can be submitted for NABH records as well as anything on that documentation that would help the patient. Please. The next unique thing is the entire syringe pump is kept outside. There is a pop box. The vitals monitor is also kept outside. So there is very minimal human contact that comes in. So everything can be administered from outside, and that will ensure faster recovery.
The latest International Society of BMT suggests that keep the patient touch to minimum even by the nurse, because the nurse can also take the infection to the patient. So you have this conveyor chamber where food and whatever anything is passed. So they don't have to come here, and then you see that place that all the IV fluids will be coming through here, and only if the patient requires anything under DG infusion, maybe like NTG or any of the vasopressors, then you require to do a otherwise everything else is outside. So this ensures that, and the patient can be seen from outside by her when the patient is safe. So only the patient and the attendant is going to be there the whole time. This is as per what when I was trained in Princess Margaret, Canada, we used to see this kind of chambers. So basically, even a doctor, we are not going to examine the patient as much as possible. Only in deep neutropenia, we come and examine the patient. And this ensures that anybody, even a duty doctor or the ICU staff, can just see the patient twice a day, just make sure everything is fine. The vitals chamber will be kept here so that the monitor can be seen. Everything can be monitored. So almost like a tele-BMT, which is actually happening in the West. So we are doing a lot of tele-BMTs, like how we have tele-ICUs. Same similar concept is there. So that sensor will tell you all the temperature, the carbon dioxide levels, the humidity, particulate matter, humidity, everything.
The only challenge is the IV, the secured IV line and the monitor.
Yes. So we usually in the BMT we put a PICC line, or we put what is the subcutaneous line. So basically what happens is we don't have to worry about attaching it. So she just has to come and attach it. For the next 2-3 hours when the IV fluids, or 5 hours, whatever the rate we put it, they will be just monitoring it from outside. We have so it's very unique. It's not being done very centers, and this ensures that we minimize the touch to the patient. Sometimes the staff who comes to clean, or anybody who comes to give the clothing to the patient, they may be carrying some of the MRSAs or some of the resistant bacteria. So we're completely avoiding that.
And how much is your duration of stay for the patients typically?
So I usually follow a 2-step process. Usually most BMTs, what they do is they put the patient into the unit from the day one when you're doing the conditioning. So we will give the conditioning that side. So the advantage here is the room stays as sterile as possible till the 11th hour that we have to get the patient. So whenever there is grade 4 neutropenia, that means the absolute neutrophil count is less than 500, we will be transferring the patient.
Typically that won't be...
So once the patient is transferred, you are looking at 10 to 20 days, depending. So we just did a pulmonary transfer before this unit was being ready. We did it in the isolation room in 2nd floor. Patient got engrafted in 20 days. All the best.
It's nice.